is all our company here.
You are best to call them generally, man by man, according to the script. Honestly, Zan, Midsummer, again? Didn't you get enough of that with Michaela? I would think you'd want to stay as far away from those hot hints as possible.
Come on, Sydney. Just play along. It'll be fun. Now, here's the scroll of every man's name, which is thought fit throughout all of Round Rock to play in our interlude before our fine, yet still rather small audience.
First, good Xander Quation, say what the show treats on. Then read the names of the cast, and so grow to a point.
Mary, our show is the most topical comedy and most current events of the What's Update with Xander Quation.
An adequate piece of work, I suppose. And a Mary. Now, good Xander Quation, call forth your actors by the scroll. Correspondents, reveal yourselves.
Answer as I call you. Sydney Nelson, the lady person.
Really? The lady person? That was the best you could do? Fine. Ready. Name what part I'm for and proceed.
You, Sydney Nelson, are set down for Senior Lady Business Correspondent.
Hey, that was my part.
Shush, Aaron, we'll get to you. Jaden Franklin, the HEB co-worker.
Hey, I've been on the show already.
Fine. Jaden Franklin, the substitute Aaron that one time.
Hey, you remembered me.
Shush, Aaron, we'll get to you. Jaden Franklin, the substitute Aaron that one time.
Here's an equation.
Jaden, you must take, okay, I want to say senior black correspondent, but I wasn't sure if that was okay or not.
As long as I'm senior something, it's all good with me.
Okay, great. We can keep going. Christian Machine, the computer guy.
I am here, Xander Equation.
Hey, wait a minute. You look oddly familiar.
Do I? I hadn't noticed.
You can't fool me again. You're the mighty GB! Give me back my studio, you crazy bastard!
You are obviously very foolish. The mighty GB will keep your studio. It's mine. Finders keepers. GB.
No. This guy shows up at the weirdest times. Anyway, Bridget McGuffin, the other lady person.
Other lady person? Really? Come, Here's Xander Equation.
You shall play the most honorable of parts, the pivotal, yet rarely seen on screen, show director.
Like, I don't care. I got to get all this on IMDb anyway, so if we could just keep it rolling, that'd be great.
All right, well, that pretty much wraps it up. So let's get on to the show, shall we?
Hey, wait a second. Where's my part?
You're not even from Round Rock, Aaron.
Neither is Jaden.
Hey, but Pflugerville is really close.
Yeah, it's really close.
Honestly, Aaron, you don't even know how super close it really is.
Dude, we were gonna do the whole Jon Stewart, Stephen Colbert thing. You know, hook 'em horns. UT rules and OU drools. Longhorns. Bevo.
We've already written the show, buddy. Maybe next time.
I guess. I mean, I'm up here in Arlington, sheltering in place, writing news pieces, working on my intense interviewing stare, and practicing on my correspondent voice.
Okay, Aaron, you're a pal. You may do it extempore, for it is nothing but reacting.
Sweet.
Good players, at the Duke's Oak we meet. What oak? Where? This is too bizarre.
Yeah, you're right. This sketch has become far too long and far too silly. Show director, roll titles.
The mighty GB has spoken.
What are you still doing here?
Recorded in Round Rock, Texas, the #1 place to shelter in place, it's the What's Update with Xander Quation.
Shelter in Place edition.
UT may be closed and all the classes are online now. I'll always have you, Bevo.
Hey, Chuckle Bunny, we're rolling.
Oh. Alright. Welcome to the What's Update, Shelter in Place Edition. I'm Xander Quation. Let's get started. Immoral, inappropriate, injurious, irrational, irresponsible, immature, idiotic. And that's just the college students that decided to party at Daytona Beach for spring break. Merriam-Webster's thesaurus doesn't have enough synonyms for the level of stupid coming out of the Trump administration's coronavirus task force. It would be very easy for us to take up all of our time taking pokes at Trump and his bootlicking enablers because, boy, are there a lot of jabs to take. It would be like shooting enormous fish in a thimble-sized barrel. But since Colbert, Oliver, Myers, Kimmel, and Fallon are all taking those shots from their home studios, we have decided to go another way. Because if I'm your main source of pandemic news, then, well, GB help you. We are going to bring you stories that they aren't covering. No, not the story of how Trump's Federal Bureau of Indian Affairs told the Mashpee Wampanoag tribe that per an order from Secretary of the Interior David Bernhardt, the tribe's reservation in Massachusetts will be disestablished and its land taken out of trust, or the story of how Hobby Lobby is refusing to close its stores during the pandemic because the CEO's wife received a message from God saying that the employees would be kept safe. No. We're going to bring you the kinds of stories that people stuck at home need right now. No gloom, no doom, no gnashing, no wailing, just interesting and fun and hopeful. We'll see how long we can last. So, without further ado, in a secret candlelit ceremony in front of close family in the gardens of the Australia Zoo in Queensland, Bindi Irwin, the 21-year-old daughter of the late conservationist and television personality Steve Irwin, has married her longtime partner Chandler Powell. Because the Irwin family live at the zoo together, Irwin's mother, Terry, and her brother, Robert, were able to attend despite the coronavirus lockdown. Now, it's unknown whether Akko, the largest croc at the zoo, caught by the bride's father before his death in 2006, was in attendance as a groomsman. A mischievous kitten scratching up the wallpaper unveiled a beautiful mural painted on the walls underneath. The kitten, named Zipper, started scratching in a spare bedroom, and when Zipper's owner peeled the wallpaper away, underneath was a room-spanning mural including mountains, orange clouds, and a Buddha statue in a tub. Many artists, rejoicing over seeing photos of these beautiful creations, are contacting the cat to assist them in finding other secrets, such as the doorway to Narnia or the tree portal to Fillory. In sadder news, basketball legend Fred Curly Neal of the Harlem Globetrotters recently passed away at his home near Houston. From 1963 to 1985, the charismatic Neal traveled the world and entertained millions of children and adults alike alongside his fellow Globetrotters, and was even a superhero as part of the Hanna-Barbera Super Globetrotters cartoon. I can only imagine the funeral, and Curly's teammate and current Globetrotters coach, Sweet Lou Dunbar, emptying the urn over the Washington Generals, covering them in confetti to the tune of Sweet Georgia Brown. Rest in peace, Curly. An Oklahoma security guard named Tim has become an internet sensation. Tim is the head of security at the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum in Oklahoma City. And while the museum is close to the public, Tim has become the manager of the museum's social media accounts. His folksy manner, dad jokes, and initial spelling out of the word hashtag in his posts have endeared him to viewers stuck at home, smiling along as Tim navigates the unfamiliar world of social media. Way to cowboy up, Tim. Too bad about the Oklahoma thing, though. You know, maybe once the pandemic is over, he can go back to his true passion, managing the Dimsdale Dim-Dome. In a blow to late-night drunks and gravy enthusiasts throughout the South, the Waffle House has closed over 350 locations across the U.S. due to the coronavirus pandemic. In a Facebook post on March 15th, Waffle House stated, "We want to acknowledge the great efforts of our associates, who work hard every shift to create a safe, warm, and welcoming dining experience 24 hours daily. It would appear that the restaurant chain couldn't take on the additional liability risk of drunks using the drive-thru. It looks like social distancing may be saving lives in unexpected ways. Because of quarantine measures already in effect, no lives were lost and only 2 hospitalizations were reported when a tornado ripped through a normally high-traffic business district in Jonesboro, Arkansas. Now that's what I call sheltering in place. A horizontal rainbow was recently photographed over Lake Sammamish in Washington state. The sideways rainbow may be a circumhorizontal arc, an ice halo formed by the refraction of the sun in atmospheric ice crystals when the sun is higher than 58 degrees above the horizon. Although, I like to see it as some sort of metaphorical indication to be hopeful no matter how sideways things have become. During a guided tour of the St. Lazarus Monastery Museum in 2017, an Italian PhD student noticed a metal sword about 17 inches long, resembling those that she came across in her studies as a Bronze Age weaponry specialist. Further research revealed that the sword, labeled as a medieval artifact, was in fact 5,000 years old. It is strange that it's classified as a sword, though, given its small size. May we suggest that once out of arrows, Cupid has other means of sticking your heart with love. And what a sight that would be, a cherub with a sword. I'd take that any day over a doll with a knife. A chemical physicist has invented a process to make vodka from carbon dioxide. Dr. Stafford Sheehan and his partner, Gregory Constantine, formed the Brooklyn-based vodka company Airco, and are competing for the Carbon X Prize to find the most profitable ways to use carbon dioxide, a major factor in global warming. Now, I've heard of high on life, but drunk on air usually brings something else to mind. Joe Hancock, head of cybersecurity for famed UK law firm Mishcon de Rea, is advising clients and the public to turn off your Amazon Alexa to prevent it from overhearing your confidential business meetings while working from home. We advise that you do it as soon as possible, and whatever you do, do not let it start singing. That's enough of that.
Give me your answer to.
Working and connecting from home, many have taken to using the video conferencing platform Zoom. However, Letitia James, New York's Attorney General, is investigating Zoom's security and data privacy after reports that hackers gained access to users' webcams. The practice, called Zoom bombing, has exploited Zoom's screen sharing features to hijack meetings and disrupt education. If you use Zoom or other such software, remember to log out and to cover your webcam when not in use. Unless, of course, you feel that public nudity is a feature, not a flaw. But Zoom bombing is definitely the title of your hacked web footage sex tape. Always are one per episode. A new blood test being developed by researchers can detect more than 50 types of cancer. The test is focused on methylation patterns, which are chemical changes for DNA shed by tumors and found circulating in the blood. The test not only can detect cancer, but also identify the type, which will aid in expediting disease-specific treatment. There's no joke here. This is amazing, and I just thought you should know. And finally, the first night of Passover is next Wednesday, in case we needed another excuse to talk about plagues. Remember to set your table with participants at least 6 feet apart. With panic buying shortages, even non-Jews may have to go without bread this year. Then again, Jews are also hunting for eggs this Easter, so I guess it all evens out. We're going to take a little break here. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Charles Dickens defined family as not only needing to consist of merely those whom we share blood, but also for those for whom we give blood. Whereas our favorite commentary on family comes from comedian George Burns that said, "Happiness is having a large, loving, caring, close-knit family in another city." Much ink has been spilled, many talking heads have nearly exploded, and everyone from religious leaders to politicians have droned on endlessly over the last 40 or 50 years about the importance of protecting the sanctity of the traditional American family. You know, dad goes to work, mom stays home, takes care of the kids are obediently being seen but not heard, just like in the good old days. Alas, it is all an intricate and insidious fabrication. The definition of family is now, and always has been, in flux. Race, religion, income levels, education, and a myriad of other demographic factors have more impact on what constitutes a family unit than some rose-tinted longing for the Leave It to Beaver-esque ideal that was only available to a select few. Sociologists, psychologists, and anthropologists see family as a social construct. The notion of family can be expressed in a nearly infinite number of ways. Underlying each is a rudimentary idea about its function in society. Sociologists suggest that families are groups in which participants view themselves as family members and act accordingly. In other words, if you call yourself a family, you're a family. In a 2010 survey conducted at the University of Indiana, nearly all participants, 99.8%, agreed that a husband, wife, and children constitute a family. 92% stated that a husband and a wife without children still constitute a family. The numbers drop for far less traditional structures. Unmarried couples with children, 83%. Unmarried couples without children, 39.6%. Gay male couples with children, 64%. And gay male couples without children, 33%. The survey revealed that children tend to be the key indicator in establishing family status. The percentage of individuals who agreed that unmarried couples and gay couples constitute a family nearly doubled when children were added. And for more on our discussion of family, we go to our senior family issues correspondent, Aaron Bryant. Aaron, are you there? It's me, Xander, from our show.
You know what's crazy is the fact that Warner Brothers claimed Meat Canyon's Wabbit season video. Like, why would they want to do that?
Aaron, can you hear me? It's Zan in my studio.
Oh, Elise, get out of here. I gotta do a thing with Xander. Oh, hey, Zan. What is up, manimal? I gotta stop doing that. I gotta stop hanging out with Craig.
Craig is a bad influence, no doubt about it.
Whoa. Let's reel it back a bit. Did you say your studio?
Yeah, that's right.
You have your own studio? I don't have my own studio. I have to shoot from my bedroom in my parents' house in Arlington.
Jews run the media, Aaron. We all have our own studios.
Is that true?
Maybe, but that's not what's important right now. What's important right now is that we talk about family.
Oh, family. Yeah, sure. I got one of those. And totally not in the secret wife and 3 kids kind of way. I mean, as far as I know, if you know what I mean. Huh? Well, just a normal family, a normal mom, normal dad, normal sister, and just like a very normal person. We are a normal family. Normal.
Got it. Normal family. But to be honest, the idea of the nuclear family isn't exactly normal.
Oh, yeah, you're correct. The nuclear family is actually a relatively modern invention. Through most of human history, family meant more than just a single unit of parents and offspring.
So what we're talking about is extended families, a multi-generational thing.
Oh, absolutely. The nuclear family has been more of a luxury afforded to the middle class and the upper middle classes. In the United States, it's also been an option mostly for white families.
That's a very good point. I think we should expand our definition a bit. Hang on a second.
Okay.
Okay. We now join Jaden Franklin, our senior why does every baseline definition of everything always revolve around white people correspondent. Jaden, can you hear us fine?
Oh, yeah. Hey, Zan. Senior people of color correspondent is totally fine.
Okay, cool. So, Jaden, what have you learned about the dynamics of family structure?
I've learned a lot while researching this topic. According to the U.S. Census Bureau in 2019, a disproportionate number of Black children under 18 live in single-parent homes, and 1/3 of all Black children in the United States live with unmarried mothers. While 74.3% of all white children below the age of 18 live with both parents, only 38.7% of African American minors can say the same.
So, would you say that from your research, the definition of family for African Americans is different than that of white Americans?
Oh, definitely. Extended family is very important in the Black community. That is a family which is composed of primary members plus other relatives. Another common configuration is called the augmented family structure, which is a family composed of primary members plus non-relatives.
This is a very interesting point. I know I have several aunties that I'm not technically related to, but do consider family. In our home, we usually refer to them as family. You know, the family you make, not just the people you get stuck with.
I found that starting with Gen X and expanding through millennials and our Gen Z, the definition of what a normal family is has changed a great deal throughout the past 2 decades.
I'm sure that the legislation in the United States and other countries of same-sex marriage has really opened up the definition of what a family can be.
That is exactly right. Family is no longer just a mom and a dad and some kids. Now a family can be 2 dads, 2 moms, a single mom, and a strong network of friends committed to creating an extended family structure.
Oh yeah, and don't forget about things like your work family or even your college friends family.
Or your show family.
Definitely.
Show bros before, well, you know.
Spit it out, Aaron.
Yeah, well, show bros before hoes.
Hoes.
Man, I'm so embarrassed.
So, basically, what you're saying is...
Family is complicated, man.
Aaron, go take yourself and the trash
Yeah,
out.
super complicated. I gotta go.
Yeah, I gotta go too, man.
All right, Aaron Bryant and Jaden Franklin, everybody. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We have our guest with us today. So, we can always just start with the basics. Who you?
Me, Jill Thompson.
What do?
Me draw comics.
And why?
It's the only thing I've ever wanted to do. I've ever wanted to do since I'm little has been to draw comics. Well, actually, that's not entirely true. I did want to be an astronaut, veterinarian, princess, ballerina, actress, artist. And one by one, a lot of those things fell away. I still like all of those things, but art was the thing that I decided to focus on.
Given that you're also a comic book artist, I imagine you could just make a character that's all of those things.
Well, I get to follow all of my interests in those things and incorporate them into stories that I write.
All right. So, do you have any future projects coming up or any new artwork that people can see?
Well, I always have things that are on my Instagram. So I post a lot of paintings. My Instagram is @theJillThompson. And I also have a Facebook page. I have Twitter, which is also @theJillThompson, but I'm usually not on Twitter. I exist there.
Links to all that in like the doobly-doo.
Yeah. So I am working on Norse Gods that P. Craig Russell is adapting for Dark Horse Comics. And I'm going to be doing one of the chapters. So I'm drawing and painting that. I'm working on commissions that I've been taking since we started our stay-at-home lifestyle for the foreseeable future to make sure everyone stays safe and healthy as possible. And the most exciting thing that I'm doing is I'm working on a new Scary Godmother book called The Scary Godmother's House. And I will be launching within a couple of days, I just have to type everything out, a Patreon, so people can watch the actual process of it being made. I figured a lot of people like to watch me paint, and they like to see updates of art, and this might be a really good way to help the book actually happen. So I'm going to do 2 levels of patronage. where one is just a lot of like the blog style, where you get to see, still images of stuff that's being worked on or finished. And then there'll be another one that's a lot more interactive. So I will do live streaming, and I also will do probably some cooking. There'll be a lot of things that happen in the Scary Godmother's house. So anything that people have really responded to on Instagram, and they've asked me, why don't you do a live cooking show? I was like, oh my gosh, because I never thought about how to do it, but seeing how everyone's streaming right now, when I'm in the kitchen in the middle of the night and making something, I will do things in the night kitchen. I will also make drinks and silly cat tricks and Q&A, a lot of back and forth, so people can ask me direct questions. And then I will also do painting videos where I will answer the questions that people have asked me.
Okay, backing up to, what do you mean by cat drinks?
Oh, cat tricks. Because
Oh,
I have two cats, and like one cat, Oberon, gets into everything that I do. So he becomes part of every single thing that I'm doing. I would not be surprised if he jumps up and walks across here, putting his tail in my face as we talk, because he has to be the center of attention all the time.
Yeah, so I have my door closed right now to keep my cats out.
Yeah. It's actually a nice day today, and I have some of the windows open here. I'm in Chicago, and I just went out to my little patio and took the cats out for 5 minutes just to get some sunshine, and now they're running around like crazy because they're solar charged, I think.
All right. So moving on, is there any chance, like even the most remote chance, that we might see another Magic Trixie book? Because my mom and I love that series, and we just want more.
Yes, I do have one. There's a fourth one, and I'm trying to remember what. Not that's finished, but that's written out. Did I call it Magic Trixie and the Ghost? It might be Magic Trixie and the Ghost. And then there's also Things to Do on an Oatmeal Day. So technically, there's probably 2 Magic Trixie books.
We're getting 2 of them.
I just have to get them out. So, yeah.
All right. Yeah, and as usual, we end up with like another silly question. So, would you rather be able to reverse one decision you make every day, or be able to stop time for 10 seconds once a day?
Just 10 seconds? I guess I would reverse a decision.
All right. What kinds of things would you do with this power?
Well, I'm trying to figure that out. I guess when I would probably, right now, I would probably reverse the decision to look at my phone too many times instead of, it's kind of makes me procrastinate a little bit. So I would put my phone down when I'm supposed to be working.
Yeah, you look at your phone for like 5 seconds, like, I'm just gonna check up on what I missed, and how has it been an hour?
That's right. This is why I can't play video games. Especially like I love D&D and role-playing games and stuff like that, but I've never gone. I started way back to go online and play, online fantasy games, thinking, oh, I'll just play for a little bit, and then the whole day is gone, and I realized that that would be very bad for me to keep up with. So thankfully, I switched computers way back because I was on a PC when I was playing online games, and then I switched to a Mac, and none of the games actually worked on a Mac at that point, which was great because I might not even be talking to you right now. I'd still be playing a game.
You mentioned that you play D&D, so I must ask, tell me about your character.
Well, right now I am playing a character in a Friends campaign called Troubled Skies. So it's a mashup of D&D, but he's created his own world. It's got a little bit of steampunky stuff in it, and it takes place around 14th century European stuff. So he's mixed a lot of, he's created his own nations and things like that, but some of it's grounded in things we know. And then there are flying airships around. So I'm a fighter in this particular campaign who probably should be a magic user because I want to do a bunch of things I can't do. It's driving me crazy.
There is always the Eldritch Knight option for your archetype, so that could be an option.
This is true. I didn't make up the type of character that I am, so I have to abide by the constraints of my my DM.
All right.
So, and we're playing tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to it. We're all playing on this type of platform, so it's been pretty interesting.
I usually have a Thursday night D&D game myself, and my dad usually feels the DMing, but with a lot of this going on, we haven't really been able to keep up on it.
And what's your character?
My character is Angus MacGuffin. He is a halfling rogue with a drinking problem. Like,
love it.
And most of the time, like for the earlier character, it was just okay, murder, death, kill. And then nowadays it's a bit more chill, but really, it's just fun to play as him. It's very cathartic.
Do you do voices?
Oh yeah. Every time I do the character, I go into a Scottish accent. It's not great, but it does well enough.
That's the only way to play D&D. I used to love DMing when I would because I would like to do a lot more theatrical things. So I would bring props out. I would have a little treasure chest when people had to pick a lock. I would make scrolls. I also have, in fact, it's over on my buffet table, or my sideboard right now. I had a little thing of test tubes, and I would fill each one up with some type of liquid, all of it potable, but you know, you never knew. Sometimes it was black coffee, sometimes Mountain Dew, flat Coke, Red Pop, something like that. Water, vinegar, you never knew. Because you'd always play with that one guy that he was the first guy who'd come up to the party and he'd be like, I just opened the door. And you're like, didn't you even, you have to check for traps, my God. He would always just jump into things. If we opened up a chest, he would be like, oh, there's a potion, I'm gonna drink it. And you're like, really? Would you do that in your real life? So I decided that when I was DMing, I was gonna actually, I would put things out for him. And it was like, okay, you see these 3 vials. What do you do? And he was like, oh, well, I'm gonna drink it. I was like, okay, well then choose that one and drink it. You're like, what? So sometimes it's a thing, but other times, you know, it's like bitter or sour or something like that. So you would have a reaction. And I wanted him to be a lot less impulsive with the rest of the party because he was going to get us all killed at one point.
That's so great when it's in your real life.
I do like to play things like that. So
yeah. My D&D game doesn't incorporate too many like props or something. Like occasionally I'll bust out some Nerf weapons for everybody to role play with, but
that's good.
Most of the time we use, instead of miniatures, because geez, they're expensive, we use Lego minifigures. Like we go by like some of the local Lego shops and we make our own little minifigures for our characters.
Oh my gosh, a whole Lego world would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, the only problem is they kind of stopped doing the like Lego Knight sets, so that kind of sucks. But luckily, my campaign is kind of in space right now, so we've gotten to that point.
I mean, in space? Like outer space?
Space, it's like I think it was in the Pathfinder equivalent of space, where it's like sailing on nebulous seas, or I don't know. Basically, we've gotten to the point where we've leveled up so much that our murder hobo party had to be transported into another planet in order to actually get some challenge.
Murder Hobo Party is a great t-shirt.
I think it'd also be a pretty good band name.
Yes, it would be. I would go to see Murder Hobo Party.
Yeah. So there's always that problem in your D&D campaign where, like, okay, we've leveled up so much to where either wherever you throw at us, we're either going to insta-kill it or it's going to insta-kill us. Or in my party's case, we often just BS our way into winning the encounter. Like a lot of our characters have a lot of charisma, so that's where that gets to.
Yep, my character does have good charisma, so I'm lucky there.
Yeah, that's really where the fun parts come into D&D.
Yeah, I like that part the best.
Plus, then also you get to fulfill everybody's expectations of Bard. So.
Ooh, we don't have a bard, but I'm sure at some point we'll all start singing.
All right, well, I think that's most of the time that we have for today. Thank you very much for coming on the show again, Miss Thompson.
You're welcome. It's so nice to be here.
All
Stay
right.
safe. See you next time.
You as well.
What is up, mammals? We'd like to give a big thank you to the super friendly and talented femammal, Jill Thompson. Please stay safe, stay apart, and don't forget to wash your grubby paws. Thanks for watching, and as always, it is what it is.